seems to be a season of defections for the Congress, losing 4 of its MLAs in Gujarat in the last 1 week to the BJP, and now losing a key leader in Maharashtra, Sujay Vikhe Patil, who is the son of the leader of opposition in the Maharashtra Assembly. Not just that, the Congress also seems to be in a fix as far as alliances are concerned. The BJP seems to have overtaken it. There was a point when the Congress was at the forefront of trying to forge an anti-BJP alliance, trying to bring together alliance partners and rival parties which are in the opposition camp. However, in the last few months, the BJP has raced ahead as far as alliances are concerned. It managed to get its deal going with the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, with the Shiromani Akali Dal in Punjab, and struck a deal with the AIA, DMK and PMK in Tamil Nadu. In the meanwhile, the Congress looks like a little less cohesive force. The BSP today, in fact, in a fresh setback to the Congress, has announced that it will not have an alliance with the Congress in any state. We do know that in Uttar Pradesh, the SP and BSP had come together, leaving no room for the Congress, and that is something that is being seen as a sign of a split opposition, of a weakened opposition. The question that we are looking at today is, with its alliances in place and Congress leaders defecting to it, is BJP the more attractive party this election season? Well, there are two aspects to it. Let's go through them one by one. One is whether the BJP is looking like the more attractive option. At this point, perhaps yes. Why? As I said, a series of defections from the Congress. Let me read out the names of those who have defected. There is Jawahar Chawla, who is an MLA in Gujarat. There is the Unjha MLA in Gujarat, Asha Patel. Parshottam Sabaria, again in Gujarat, and Vallabh Dharavia, who is the latest to have defected from the Congress to the BJP in Gujarat. In July last year, Congress MLA Kuvarji Bavalia had also joined the BJP. We do know that prominent OBC leader in Gujarat, Alpesh Thakur, who joined the Congress in the run-up to the 2017 polls, has been in talks with the BJP, even though for now he said he's remaining with the Congress, but that is a vulnerable spot for the Congress because he's voiced his anger with the Congress fairly openly and has been, as he admitted himself, in talks with the BJP. Senior Congress leader Priyaranjan Das Munshi's wife Deepa Das Munshi, who's also been a Lok Sabha MP, is also in talks with the BJP. We don't have any confirmation on what is happening on that front yet, but yes, that could be another possible setback for the Congress. Well, in Maharashtra, as I said, Sujay Vikhe Patil, who's the son of the Maharashtra Assembly opposition leader Radhakrishna Vikhe Patil, that is being seen as a major setback because really if the leader of opposition's son goes to join the rival party, it leaves the Congress far more red-faced. In terms of alliances, I've already mentioned what the Congress has not managed to do and what the BJP has succeeded in doing. Even though at one point the BJP seemed like it was losing allies, it lost TDP, it lost the Ahom Parasad in Assam, but gradually it seems to have made up and compensated for on that front. So yes, if we are talking about whether it is looking like a more attractive option, in terms of optics, yes. The second part of this is, it's not necessarily about looking like an attractive option, it's about giving out that perception. That is precisely what the BJP's strategy and aim is. The BJP is attempting to show itself as a more bankable political party for allies and for other political leaders, which it hopes will send out a message to the voters that it is in fact a better party, a more attractive option, and the voters should also opt for it, given that the political figures in the arena today, whether it's political party as alliances or politicians who are planning to join a new party, are looking at the BJP as a more bankable option. Well, while we are having this discussion, I request our viewers to send in questions. I'd be very happy to take them. In fact, not just questions, do send in your observations and comments as well, and we'll take them up in the course of this discussion. I have a question already, which says, what do you think is the reason for leaders quitting the Congress? Well, you know, all of them have actually given different reasons, but we've seen this tendency with the Congress, and let's go back a little bit. Whether we look at people like Rita Bahuguna Joshi, who left the Congress earlier, who come from Congress families but who joined the BJP, or we look at a leader like Jagatambika Pal again in UP, or more recently, if we look at someone like Himanta Biswa Sarma, who's a senior leader in Assam and whose loss has meant the Congress, in fact, has lost grip not just over Assam but over the Northeast. All of them have had one running complaint, which is that they do not get time with the Congress High Command, that they're unable to meet Congress President Rahul Gandhi, and to sort of talk to him and express their grievances. This is, as I said, has been a running thread. This is something which even Alpesh Thakur is saying, that he's been unhappy with the Gujarat Congress and has communicated it to the High Command, but nothing has happened. So one reason is inaccessibility and inability to meet the top command in Delhi and to be able to talk to them and get something in return, and to be pacified by them. Then there are local factors as well. For instance, in the case of Patil in Maharashtra, it's a more local concern. He wants to contest the Lok Sabha election from the Ahmednagar seat, but that seat is with the NCP in the seat sharing pact between the Congress and NCP, and the NCP is reluctant to let go of it, which is why he's joined the BJP and he hopes to get a ticket from the BJP. In Gujarat, again, it's a range of factors. The infighting in the Gujarat Congress has always been a big concern for the party, and that is something being cited by a lot of these leaders for having left the Congress and for joining the BJP. There are other factors as well, as I said, very many local factors. It could also perhaps be that in their respective seats, they see BJP as a stronger force, as a more winnable force, and they want to be on the winning side. Well, there is a question which says, what about big faces shown by Congress like Manmohan Singh in Punjab? Is it going to make any change? Look, Mr. Manmohan Singh has really never been a mass politician at all. He's been a Rajya Sabha member and he's not known for his mass politics. So I'm not sure whether that's going to make any impact in terms of any large-scale impact electorally for the Congress. It just adds more credibility to the Congress. It just adds more credibility to the image of the Congress, because somebody like him is a very respected politician, has been a respected technocrat. So that does add to the bench strength of the Congress. But in terms of mass politics or in terms of being a vote catcher, Dr. Manmohan Singh hasn't quite been one and is unlikely to be so even now. There's a question from Aman. The question is, the question from Aman Modi. I'm sorry, I thought Modi was a part of your question, obviously. The question is, how will the BJP enthuse the cadre given there is no major Hindutva issue till now? Well, I don't think there is no major Hindutva issue. The Ram temple issue continues to boil. The fact that the court has now said there should be mediation means that the BJP is now talking about it more, if not publicly, but at least on the ground among the workers, among the cadres, about how mediation is not an option for them and how there is no negotiation that is possible. So that issue continues to burn. The Citizenship Amendment Bill was another Hindutva issue that the BJP was trying to push and will try to push, saying that if you vote us back to power in 2019, this was a promise which was left unfulfilled because the opposition wasn't allowing it. But if we come back, we'll push through it. More importantly, what the BJP is now using as the biggest election issue, and the rallying point really, is national security. Since the terror attack in Pulwama and since the retaliatory airstrikes in Balakot in Pakistan, the BJP has raised the pitch in the issue of national security, has made it a very, very shrill, high decibel election issue, and that is what it is using to enthuse its cadres, to enthuse voters, to enthuse a cross-section of people. It knows it is a very emotive issue. It knows it's an issue which is capable of generating a lot of sentiment, and that is precisely what it is doing. So it's not just Hindutva, it is also national security, but to answer your question, which can be used to enthuse BJP cadre on the ground. There's a question from Aditya Shikhar. The opposition keeps going to the same old tactics which failed miserably in 2014. Why not so for more encompassing strategy than just making it about PM Modi? You know, you're absolutely right, Aditya. I think the opposition is making a mistake in making this election entirely about Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because they're playing right into the BJP's hand the minute they do so. The BJP wants to turn this into a presidential style election. They want this election to be about personalities and not about issues. And in that personality game, in that contest, in that battle of personalities, the BJP thinks it has the upper hand, given PM Modi continues to remain a very popular leader across several states, and that the opposition looks really in disarray. There is no leader in the opposition who's the face of the opposition. The BJP feels Mr. Rahul Gandhi is not a popular leader yet on the ground, and that is another advantage for the BJP. So the fact that the opposition is focusing so much on Mr. Modi gives the BJP that advantage of doing precisely what they want, making it an election about Modi versus question mark who. And second, it also helps the Prime Minister portray himself as a victim. Look, he's always talked about how he's someone who comes from a very humble background. He's risen through the ranks. He's not entitled like, quote unquote, the Zionist, as he calls Rahul Gandhi. And that is something he's going to use even further when people attack him. He's going to talk about how they're all ganging up against him. And he's already been talking about it because he's trying to be honest. He's trying to change the system, and because he comes from a humble background. So as I said, it does not serve the opposition's purpose. If at all, it gives the BJP a little bit of a push. There's a question, what about issues like Rafale? Do you think the Congress leaders have realized it is a wrong point to contest for elections? I'm not sure they've realized that, because they're still raising the Rafale issue off and on. Of course, not in as cohesive a manner and as aggressive a manner as they were perhaps doing a couple of months ago. I also feel maybe Pulwama and Balakot have changed the discourse a little bit and have changed the rules of the game a little bit. So everybody has to tread cautiously on the issue of national security. The BJP is going big on it. The BJP is going big, claiming that it is the only party that can protect the country and which takes national security seriously. And the Congress knows it is a sensitive issue and has to be careful when it talks about issues of defense and national security. Why the Rafale did not stick? Well, I think it's too early to say whether it would have no electoral impact at all. I mean, it would be unfair to comment on that yet. But yes, PM Modi continues to enjoy the image of being a clean leader. So the Congress attacking him on the issue of corruption, calling him a thief, going to the extent, in fact, of calling him a thief, is something that may just end up boomeranging, particularly because the Congress leadership, the Gandhi family, have been associated, the Congress has been associated with corruption, particularly the UPA 2 regime was perceived to be an extremely corrupt regime. So these issues together mean that the Congress attack on Rafale, using Rafale against the BJP, isn't as sharp and effective as the Congress was hoping it would be. There's a question from Sham Motwani. Do you think alliance by Congress will work for them in the alliance partner, alliances by Congress? Well, it really depends on which state we are talking about. In UP, we see that already the Congress has been sidelined by the SP, BSP. I think because somewhere they also did not see value in bringing Congress on their side. Congress wanted far more seats. They did not see that to be a useful thing to do. In Bihar, of course, the Congress has an alliance with the RJD, and which is something which the alliance did well in the elections, in the assembly elections as well. Of course, at that point, the JDU was also with them. But the Congress can possibly do well here as well. So really, whether the Congress alliances work out depend on the state, depend on the dynamics in the state. But there are not too many states, except say Maharashtra, where the Congress-NCP alliance is again important, because if they were not together, it would give a huge edge to the Sena BJP. The fact that these two are coming together for certain is in fact what perhaps pushed the Sena and BJP to ensure they seal the deal as soon as possible, even though they were bickering allies for a while. So it depends. As I said, it's a completely state-wise situation. There are states in which it would work. There are states in which it might not work. In West Bengal, for instance, the CPM and Congress have decided to have a friendly contest in some seats. Well, this alliance in the West Bengal Assembly polls, the previous West Bengal Assembly polls, did not quite work. Trinamool Congress came to power with a thumping majority, and the left in fact suffered, with the Congress doing even better than it. So how it works out really depends on the dynamics of that particular state. Saurabh Kharwal wants to know, is media overhyping the Mahagathbandhan in UP? Will SP, BSP workers will they get together well, or any local or Priyanka factors not taken into account, or does Pulwama have an undercurrent? I think it's a very pertinent question about how the SP-BSP alliance is going to work on the ground. When we talk about the arithmetic of the alliance, of course it works out, which is precisely why this alliance has happened. It does look like an alliance which, in terms of arithmetic, could pose a very, very serious challenge to the BJP, could actually give the BJP a serious run for its money. But arithmetic in politics is one thing and chemistry is quite another. What we saw in the UP elections of 2017 when the SP and Congress entered in alliance was precisely this, that the math seemed to be working out, but the chemistry on the ground did not. The workers who were not willing to work for the other party in seats where the other party was contesting. So the cadre and workers were not gelling together. There was no cohesiveness, and that really created far more confusion, and in fact really sort of brought both the Samajwadi Party and Congress down and gave the BJP a huge edge. What remains to be seen in the SP-BSP alliance, therefore, is that whether the arithmetic can be combined with chemistry to put up a challenge to the BJP, and in fact, if possible, maybe to even reduce BJP to very, very significantly few numbers in Uttar Pradesh. So, as I said, they have to ensure that their workers come together. Look, understand these are two parties which have fought as rivals for years. So, it's not easy to translate it across the 80 seats in the state. So, that remains to be an important criteria. Do you think the opposition should stop negative campaign and focus on their vision for India? Yes, of course, this is an issue with the way the opposition has approached the 2019 polls. They have made it entirely about bringing Modi down and of getting rid of the BJP, in fact, getting rid of Prime Minister Modi. The fact that they have not put forth any alternative, cohesive vision is something that is a huge negative for the opposition. Even the Congress, for that matter, all they talk about is why the BJP is so wrong, in terms of being in power and what wrongs Prime Minister Modi has done. And of course, it's legitimate for an opposition party to question the government and criticize the government, particularly in election season. But the problem is this should be combined with a vision. This should be combined with a narrative from your side and what you have to offer to the voters if you come to power. And this is particularly important for the Congress, I emphasize, because this was a party which has been in power for so many decades. It has to put forth a fresh vision to attract voters. It cannot just rely on, or the opposition also cannot just rely on voters disliking Modi and then voting for the opposition. It has to be a pull factor towards the opposition and not necessarily a push factor away from the BJP. Vikram Paul wants to know, how will the citizenship bill play out in the Northeast? How many seats can NDA expect from there? So, well, in the Northeast overall, if we look, there are around 25 seats, and the BJP has been hoping to make significant gains in the Northeast so that it can compensate for possible losses elsewhere. Now, we've seen that with the Citizenship Amendment Bill, there was a lot of backlash. In Assam alone, there are 14 Lok Sabha seats. Now, in Assam, the Citizenship Amendment Bill issue is divided between the Barak Valley and the Brahmaputra Valley. The opposition to the bill is in the Brahmaputra Valley, where the Barak Valley supports it. So electorally, how it turns out and how the BJP manages to turn the tide in its favor remains to be seen. The bill has now, of course, lapsed, and the fact that it was not passed is something that has cooled down temperatures in the Northeast, has cooled down temperatures in Assam. We've not heard of any protests, of course, because now the bill is not there. Could the BJP be able to pacify those who are angry with it over the bill? Perhaps. Has the Congress been able to cash in on this anti-BJP sentiment? Not sure. So these are all factors which remain to be seen. It's very difficult to put a number, as you asked, to what perhaps the BJP can get in the Northeast. And of course, my craft is not psephology, so that anyway would be difficult for me to do. But it would depend on, one, whether the BJP is able to, whatever negativity there was against it with respect to the bill, whether it's able to now quell that, given that the bill is now in the back burner, and whether through the bill it was able to polarize votes in its favor. That is also an important thing, because the bill was clearly a part of its Hindutva agenda, and how much polarization in its favor has happened also remains to be seen. Well, thank you so much for sending in your questions, and do keep watching us. Do track us on YouTube as well.